So fierce. I put my phone, like, prop it up to make sure this delivery gets here. Watch the cord not work. If I ordered this cord and it doesn't work, oh, bitch. Oh, am I the only one not ready up? Sorry, guys.
The search continues in Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The Sheriff's Department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. Her vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search into the nearby Chinatown will unearth the lead. Family and friends are urging anyone with information regarding her disappearance to please come forward. Personal belongings linked to...
Why am I on Bubba? He's like right next to me. Oh, it is.
This looks promising.
I love it though. Well,
Wait, can I use that?
I want to buy the Texas Chainsaw official sweater on their website. It's really cute. Like burgundy. Oh, hey, girl. Oh, hey, girls.
It's too quiet. Much
No,
too
won't open.
quiet.
Oh, thank God.
Julie, over here.
What woke up Grandpa? Wasn't me.
Oh, shit.
I'll be here.
Somebody around here has to catch him. You're just...
Hi, Sapphire. Oh, this is a lot. Girl. Did he just put a trap? Hi, Red Riding Hood. Guys, we had a rough start to stream. We're recovering. We're here. Oh.
See what you made me.
That's so embarrassing. I did not mean to flush the toilet and alert them.
What's this?
Hey, Mario.
I'm keeping this.
Where is the fuse box in this map? It's probably in the front of the house.
Just get back.
Fuck. Well. Hey, Natalie. Oh shit. Oh, you missed. Oh, I'm dead. Oh! Oh, I stepped in a trap! That was a warm-up. It's okay. There's a lot of bugs, like, that need to be fixed. And I'm like, then it'll be fun. But, like, there's a game-breaking bug right now with Sissy. Sissy can, like, control the entire game. Because one of her perks are broken. So she can literally break the game. Yeah. She can, like, so one of her perks is supposed to add 25% onto her, like, because she can poison you, so it'll make your vision blurry. But instead of adding... Shoulder pad is, like, fucked up. Instead of adding 25, it stacks. Like, it's supposed to just add up to 25, and instead it stacks 25. So you could do it consistently until you're, like, frozen in one spot. like the survivor, which is not good. That you're not allowed to do that. That's like literally you're abusing a bug. So yeah, not great. Well, it would be one thing if that was like what it was supposed to do, but it's not supposed to do that, so it's like actually broken. Yeah. And sometimes the hitboxes are like not the T. I'm like, oh. Also, I got new nails. These are my natural nails. I took my acrylics off. I think since launch, honestly, I think people are just discovering it because it's like at the end of the skill tree, like you have to max her out to use it. So I think that's why people are just discovering it, because like people are getting to that point where you're getting higher level characters. Ivan, thank you for your sub. I appreciate you. We are 10 away from 100 for the month. Thank you so much for participating in that sub goal. Appreciate you. Also, getting my numbers up and giving me some money after the technical difficulties I just had to pay to fix. So thank you. Not me opening Uber Eats because I was like, hold on. Well, welcome in. Happy to have you. Oh yeah, it's been out for 10 days. I mean, they're gonna fix it, but there are some that are like there was one where you can't queue with your friends after a match, it'll break. Like that needed to be fixed ASAP. And it did.
Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. Her vehicle was recently discovered abandoned.
I think they ruined this shoulder pad. Like I feel it, and it's like someone just like chewed on it. Like what is happening? This one's fine. This one is... Maybe it's in the wrong spot? Maybe it's upside down? Thank you for subbing to me. Appreciate it.
What is this place?
Not Jason Derulo. Ah! Shut up.
Oh,
How you doing?
is this human?
Have you played this game yet, Gapt? Oh, that's not. Oh, that's not! I just spawned! Empaz, thank you so much for subscribing as well, getting us to 91 subs for the month. How you doing? 9 months. Thank you so much for resubbing. But I've heard there's a lot of voice comms. And if there's anything I like to do, it's to argue with hetero men. I want to get on comms and be toxic too, kinda. A little bit.
Come back.
Oh, that's not. Oh, that's not! Oh, you missed. Oh. Let me not be toxic. Oh my god, he really wants me dead, Boots. I just spawned!
This will help.
Hey, girl. Sister, do you want to live? What the? I can't. Oh god. Why are they all on me? What did I do? Haha.
Got this. I think this is antiseptic. Should clean the wound.
I'm surprised that worked.
I can use that. Think. Just look around, Connie.
Oh, M-Buzz, thank you for gifting another sub. 92 subs, thanks, babe.
Thank you. Not again.
Can these chickens shut the fuck up?
Be more careful.
They're real people. Grandpa's AI, but Grandpa doesn't run around.
Okay, stay calm. Maybe I can.
There's another lock. Oh, cause fucking Cook did it.
I can get through. I know what this is. It might work on those doors. No! Please, God, help me find a way.
Let's
to-
run, sister! Oh, girl, you need to run.
God, please help us! Oh my God, I have to find help.
Okay, we did it. I'm surprised I made it out that game. Well, when it's correct, it's correct. I don't have this character leveled up. Okay. No, this isn't fair. I have no one leveled up. No, I do not want to play family. Oh, I'm almost level 20. Milestones. There are people that are level like 50. I'm like, huh? No! Why is this delivery person so far away? Oh, ow. You wanna be the queen card. I'm the queen card. I'm the queen card. I'm the queen card. Can we listen to it?
County for a missing University of Texas student. The Sheriff's Department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of News. The vehicle was
like 30 minutes.
abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the abandoned search
The queen card.
Going on?
High safety.
Oh, God. Is this human?
Okay.
Hey, Sonny. It's me, Connie.
Did you unlock it?
I can use that.
No. Too loud. I should keep this.
Oh! Okay. Thank you. I'm having fun with makeup again, which is nice. And I think I'm understanding what makes my eyes water and what doesn't. I'm gonna gag this cook right here, watch. Okay, or I won't. What the heck? Bitch. What? Okay, thanks, Julie. I was gonna help you, but she just sandbagged me. What a cunt. I was literally gonna go up behind him and stab her while he was on her. She just dragged his ass towards me. I'm twerking on the runway. You wanna be the queen card.
Look so cool, look so sexy like Kim Kardashian. Look so cute, look so pretty like Ariana. I wanna with you, Popo. I wanna with you, Pong. 자꾸 이뻐져 거울 속 너. 이 파티에 준비된 blur champagne. 태어난 걸 축하해 every day. 리듬 그래 내가 봐.
It's been stuck in my head all day. Working in the runway.
I am a queen card. You wanna be the queen card? I'm a queen card. I'm a queen card.
Search continues in Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The Sheriff's Department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. The vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search into the nearby communities of Harlow and Chinatown will unearth leads. Family and friends are urging anyone with...
Alright, can I not, like, get sandbagged this game? Guys, I'm here to help you. We're in this together. We're a team!
What's going on? What is this place? Thank you. Just keep moving.
Speed run.
Got it. We never Oh, God. Is this human?
Hi, Marshy. I'm the queen card. I'm twerking on the run. What? The way he didn't see me. Okay. Girl!
What's that?
Oops.
Too loud.
Hey, girl. Oh. The moan? What was that for? Oh, what's going on over here? Bitch, shut up. Oh, they're already out, bitch.
I have to.
I gotta get some help.
Well. Hey, Max. I really feel like the shoulder pad is the wrong way. I really don't understand what happened. Oh, let me not flash the camera. What is going on with the shoulder pad? This one is like not at the same caliber as the other shoulder pad. So, we were gonna play Final Fantasy, but I'm waiting for a controller. I had to fucking order a charger, so we're playing this while we wait. It should be here in like 30 minutes. I ordered it. Maybe even less, because I think she's on the highway, so she might be fast.
Now to go home and have the rest of that pasta.
Damn right. Damn right. I wish I could have pasta. We had to turn the gas off on our stove because we had a gas leak. Ooh. No pasta. But are you the queen card? So you're not the queen card, is what you're saying. What's your ETA? What's your ETA?
Personal belongings linked to a missing Tulsa, Oklahoma Tyra Devine, seemingly vanished
Tyra
while on a
Banks!
trip through Texas Hill Country.
I'm rewatching every season of Top Model right now, and some of the seasons are actually insane. Like, it's really bad.
Last November, but no further evidence has been unearthed until now. Police say a wallet and pocketbook containing IDs.
We speed run. She's got the right idea. Let's go, Anna. Ooh.
To numb the pain. What is this?
Yes, yes, yes.
Season 8's my favorite season, I think. And I think season 11 with Isis King, the first transgender model on Top Model, I think that has my favorite photo shoots.
Can I get through there?
Was on? Is that Alexandria and Brittany? 15.
What do we have here?
Oh, the lesbian with the red hair. She was so pretty. She was my favorite too. And then she went on All Stars and she didn't have her hairstyle. No, she's an icon. I love her. That had Anne that I didn't think should have won, but it's okay. I got Best Picture like 15 times. I was like, what? Chelsea was robbed. You know who was really robbed? Anya in season 10 with Whitney. Anya won every mini challenge and she got Best Picture like 10 times. And then fucking they crowned Whitney for like the big like, they were just like, they just wanted like, oh my god, season 10 is like a big season. We really want to like do our best like to make it like an iconic season. So we're gonna do our first plus size winner in history. That was like what they did. I was like, yes, that's good and all, but also like, Anya was robbed. Like they hated Whitney. Whitney was in the bottom like 4 times. And they were like, you're too commercial. It was like, first of all, doesn't make any sense, but also, the disconnect? Oh. Hey, girl.
Think.
Also, another good season is Jade's season, season 6, where Jade was the villain the entire season. But she made great TV, but also she won. Her and her best friend won every mini challenge, and they hated
Protect us.
that they did.
Please.
I was like, okay, well then just get better. Just like win mini challenges then, I don't know. Oh, we're toast in a second. I cannot find an unlock tool.
Thank you. I might be able to break those locks now.
Yeah, Nana. Her and Jade. It says the order was complete. I hope it's outside.
Oh, thank God.
Alright, let me go see if it's here so we can start charging the controller. It works, you guys. We did it, Joe. We did it. Alright, so we play a couple games and hopefully it'll be charged. That was way too much for just that. Yeah, it did. Now it just needs to charge. I know, literally. I didn't buy a controller. I had to buy a charger because someone in our apartment came over and needed the charger to charge their phone, and they have an Android, and apparently when you use an Android charger to charge a PS controller, it breaks the charger, so you can't charge your PlayStation controllers anymore. So I had to buy a new one. It like just didn't work. Like at all. Like we tried it on the other controller, we tried it on that controller, we tried it for my computer, we tried another cord, like it was not charging. Then no one's fault, like we didn't know it was gonna break it, but it was just kind of annoying that I had to buy a new fucking, like I was excited and like when it came and then it just like completely curb stomped my mood. Yeah, we should just eradicate androids. Y'all need to we need to stop this shit. It's your fault. It's all your fault, Android users. It's all your fault.
Search continues in Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. The vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search into the nearby communities of Morrow and Chinatown will unearth.
I had to order Uber Eats on an Android once, and I almost had a stroke doing it. I literally hate Androids so much. We'll see about that.
What the hell? Yes, I can use that. What's this?
This might fit in the door. Got it.
What bone scrap? Yeah, that was weird they did that. I still use like wired headphones, but you have to use the wired ones that are like for the Apple jack.
Disgusting.
It's really weird. Is he coming over here? Well, I'm about to gag him so fierce. Hold on. I say that every time and then die. Oh. No, like, actually, safety, like, I can tell, like, he's an Android user from his webcam quality when he uses his phone.
What do we have?
Like,
here?
it's giving Picto Chat. It's all the trans masks that are in the network. Y'all got your fucking androids and you love it to death. For some goddamn reason. See, I would respect if you had the android Curtis has, Marshall, because fucking Curtis has like is like a flip phone, like open. It's like an iPad. It's like a phone book. It's kind of cunty. Oh, this is Grandpa. What's up, bitch? What's up, sissy, bitch?
Sugar. Oh,
Watch out. I see one. Okay. They didn't see me.
Oh, hey, girl. Oh no, they trapped me. You can't get me. You can't have me. Oh man. Well. You know there are plans, honey. You can like pay like $20 a month to upgrade your phone until you pay it off. You don't have to pay like thousands of dollars up front. Because Australia's not real. I remember someone dropped an iPhone, like, an iPhone 10 outside my old apartment that actually I'm really close to now. And I stole it. Could never unlock it. Never figured out whose phone it was. But it was a nice phone. I found it like face down in the snow and it worked fine, but I couldn't unlock it. I really wanted to sell it. I should have sold it on eBay or whatever. I just got the money for it and then not promised the password. I'm the queen card. I'm the queen card. Oh, I reset it. Or something. I don't know. I did something so they couldn't track it. Work the system. Like, oh, you lost your phone. That sucks. If that happened to me, I'd be plucked, but whatever. I'm the main character, not you other bitches.
The search continues in Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. Her vehicle was recently discovered abandoned.
That was when I had a shitty phone too, so I was like, maybe I can upgrade, and then I couldn't. And then I just like didn't know what to do with it until after. I was like, alright, well.
We're unearthing leads. Family and friends are urging anyone.
I'm twerking on the runway. I am the queen card. You wanna be the queen card? We're speedrunning.
Going on. I know what this is. It might work on
No,
my
because what's
fingers.
up? Like, I literally don't care. Where's the bone scrap?
I should keep this, just in case.
I'm the queen card. I'm the. Where is he? It's a miracle, drag you. Are you ready for me? Deep in the Lake Titicaca Valley, a school was formed of drag queens to, I don't remember the rest of the monologue. The way wrestling brings no joy nowadays, it's just not. Oh, that's not. You missed, buddy. Oh! Oh, girl! Sister, 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 sister. Oh! Oh! What the? Well. We just go next, it's as easy as that when you solo queue.
Let me go, let me say, 이제 그만 hate away. Hello, hello, punch you like a 808. 나는 나, 너는 너, 전혀 문제 없는 걸. 다른 것도 틀린 건 달라. 동그라미, 원하지. 미련 그 누구도 몰라. Nobody knows. 어쩌지? I can't be. 어디로 될지 몰라. Superstar.
Babu. Oh my god, thank you so much for 14 months. How do I pronounce your username? Do you want me to say your like actual name or do you want me to say your username? Or is it like a mix of both? You know when you have a mutual and you don't know how to say their username? But like you know their handle on everything? That's where I'm at with you, bestie. Alright, we're gonna cut the music. Cut the track!
What is going on? Where am I? What is this place?
We speedrun. Cute. I like Charlie. Sorry. I didn't mean to do the accent and the funny thing.
Might lead to the others.
Can I not die instantly this game? That'd be cute.
This is nasty.
I've died instantly like 4 games in a row, bitch. Oh, my bad. Well, here I go. Why number 7? Should I name the ugly other bitches? Starting with Rose. Sorry. How is Sissy down here?
I should keep this.
What? Oh, girl.
Just keep moving, Connie.
I can't, dude. Can we just go? Do you guys like mind? Can we like play the game?
Please lead somewhere good.
Okay.
Yes, it's off. Come on. I gotta find something I can use. I think this is antiseptic. Should clean the wound.
I think he's really hot. Oh!
They're here.
I don't know.
I need to hide.
His butt is the hottest thing about him, honestly. I can fix him.
I can't see them. This will help.
I thought that was another shop. I was like, excuse me.
Good. Why won't they leave me alone?
Okay, so where do we think the fuse is?
I think they left.
Oh. Oh.
They'll be back. I'm sure of it.
What is all the others doing? Why is this dragging out? Grandpa, I'm sorry I left you all those years. Somebody around here has to catch him. Grandpa taught me this little trick.
What mod?
No, won't open. I can use that.
Oh. I don't know, honestly.
Think. Just look around, Connie. Just think. There's got to be a way out.
Well, this is kind of an issue. I'm honestly hoping Hitchhiker comes back this way and opens this so I can run past him. Not that I think I'd be able to... Oh, Sissy just came out this door behind me. Oh my god, shut up. Fuck. I wish I was Leland. It doesn't really matter. It's just like if you can escape. It doesn't matter if you're the last one standing. Because like somebody escaped, so like technically they did better than me. Oh. Drew, thank you for the follow. Emo Walter, but I don't want to make it. Because I put like raspberry lemonade in my water. Because water is boring. Spill. I spilled. If you drink just water, you're weird. Sorry about it. Can you ready up? Ready up. Thanks, Slay Slay. But like all the time is only the water. They're gonna tunnel me. Oh well. See, I can't. Like, I like water with flavor.
University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. Her vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search to the nearby communities Harlow and Chinatown will unearth new leads.
Wait, I just tried skipping that like a cutscene. Well. How are you already in here?
What's this?
I can use that. Keep moving, Connie.
Where is Bubba? That wasn't me, so. Oh. Oh. Oh my god, what is happening?
I'm tougher than I look.
Oh! That was really close.
It might work on those doors.
Yep. Did someone just jump out the window? I think someone jumped out the window.
This will help. I should keep this, just in case.
Well, everybody's dying.
What's that?
Okay, I think I'm literally already the last one.
Just think, there's got to be a way out. Okay, let's see where this goes.
Thanks, Huda.
Oh, God. Is this human?
Thank you. I was watching Top Model and they did like a pirate like photo shoot and they had like these really gorgeous like burgundy smoky eyes. So I really wanted to do one. I need to get more makeup brushes though. I'm like using a lot of color in my makeup recently and it's like hard to keep up with everything. The fuck was that?
Shit.
Oh, hey. Girl, please. Oh no, I'm gonna pass out.
I can't see them. Just go away, damn it.
Get up, sister, get up! Uh-oh. Oh, fuck you.
I need more.
No, I won. It was me. I don't have her leveled up. Oh! Well. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom again. I have to pee. And I'm gonna get a water.
Search continues in Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Nude.
Oh!
The vehicle was recently discovered abandoned.
They almost got me, gal.
No signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful that the expanded search into the nearby communities of Harlow and Chinatown.
How long does it take for a PlayStation 5 controller to charge? Can someone Google that? Wait, I didn't shake this up. Oh my god! I just like literally just like had all the sugar in one sip. Oh my god, hi Dylan! Thanks for the raid, babe. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm a bartenderess. I don't know. I make my own like cocktails in my G Fuel cup with my Crystal Light packets. Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. Welcome in, Raiders. I'm Nemesis, I'm trans, I do drag, I play video games. Happy to have you. Hello. Chem homework. I failed chemistry and physics. Oh! No, it's no tea, it's no tea, it's no tea, boots. Where did I just go? Oh. I failed physics 3 times and then I got held back. So hee. Good luck on your chem homework. I can't help you though. Unless you're looking to fail. Then I can help you with that. I got an A in what was it? The one with shapes. It's not. Wait, no. I got an A in that one, but the plants, ecology. What is happening? I did get an A in geometry, but I also got an A in ecology. Or what's the one about plants? It's like ecology and then there's another one. He's so gagged right now. Like, it's something like botany. But I'm not into horticulture. I don't think so. I thought it started with an E. Maybe I need to go back to high school. I'm not sure. But I got an A in it. It was about plants. And I did a good job. Dylan, what did you stream? Are you still here? What's the tea? Ooh. Yeah, I got an A and got an A plus from your mom. Oh! Has no one gotten out of the basement yet? I feel like that's strange.
Thank you.
I dropped out of Spanish. I was not good at Spanish. And then I tried like
My friends.
Oh, love, my love.
there's usually another door in this house to get outside. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Oh, hey, girl.
Hey, Connie. Hey, I'm here.
Please. Please don't let that thing come back. It's open.
Girl. Why did she shut the door on me?
Damn.
Oh, of course, no worries.
What do we have here?
I thought... Yeah, they are. Isn't it cute? He's kind of cute. I don't know about the Justin Bieber hair, but like, he's cute. I think it's like part of the era. I mean, it is. The people that designed this game were like specifically like, we're trying to keep the aesthetic of this game as accurate as possible. I hate when the... Okay, well, we're literally about to get gagged. I thought she was clocking this gen. Oh, his butt in my face, hey? Well? I definitely got gagged. Okay, well, I've leveled up a lot. I just don't know who to level up. No. I just want to keep playing Leland. Is there a Discord server channel or something? Yeah, there is. You just have to wait till the end of the stream, though, to get in. But make sure you post a introductions message. Yeah, I like it. It's cute. It's fun. It's fun for now. I'm excited to see what they do for future updates. Thank you, Chris.
Search continues in Huerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. The vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play. Authorities are hopeful.
Wait, what is that cosmetic for him? Does he have that shirt? I'm just here to fight.
Gotta focus. Gotta stay strong. Can I get through here? What's this? What do we have here?
These exits are so close to each other. I'm just gonna...
Hell yeah.
Hi, Key. Hi, Donnie. Welcome back. What is happening? I did all that to save you, Connie, and that you died like that. Like it was nothing.
I need to get
Well.
this open.
And the bitch over there is dead too. What the heck? That is so stupid. Like, I'm like spamming buttons, but it's, oh my god. It's putting me on the wrong objects. So stupid. I'm a beautiful mother of two. Please respect my privacy at this time. I'm actually not a mother of two anymore. Apparently we can't get a cat in the new place, so I'm kind of depressed about it, but we're not going to talk about it. At least Monty will be there. And I want to raise a kitty. I mean, supposedly we're not supposed to have a cat, but like, what if I just get a cat and don't tell anyone? Like, what are you going to do about it? What are you gonna do, kick me out? It's a cat. Like, get over it. Yeah, I'll bring it to a red carpet with me while my husband is in the house. And then the cat will poop on the red carpet. A red carpet for hair extensions. That's a Total Divas reference for you wrestling fans. Very few of you in my chat recently because wrestling is terrible.
The search
Like, it's
continues in
terrible.
Muerto County for a missing University of Texas student. The sheriff's department says Maria Flores, a native of Uvalde, was last seen near the town of Newt. The vehicle was recently discovered abandoned, with officials reporting no signs of foul play.
Like, the entirety of it. I haven't even finished Total Divas. I've never watched the end of season 9 because... Okay. Because I hate that season because Rhonda ruined it.
Please lead somewhere good.
Oh, yes. Shortcut.
Actually, the worst season. Liv should have been a main cast character in that season. Like, why was she not? Hey, guys.
No, won't
Is
open.
this even safe?
Right there. This might lead to the others.
Shit. Quiet.
What you doing over there, Sonny? Ooh. I, like, can't. Like, does Triple H have daughters? Like, I'm asking, like, a serious question. Doesn't he have a daughter? I think he has a daughter.
Now this is a way out.
No, let me do it. Hi, Lib.
Something useful.
Thank you. We were gonna play Final Fantasy, but my controller died, and then I had to buy a new charger and get it, like, Instacarted here over fucking, like, so fast. Is the charger broke? Oh, she's toast. Oh, you ate that, Connie. Oh, sister, you need to run. No, 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 not that way. What are you doing? Uh-oh. Girl, you just need to run. Like, she's gonna get, like, one hit in. Connie, if you can hear me, just run. I know. Wait, did you have... When did you start? Or have you gone through the summer? Because I know my friend just started school. Oh shit, damn. Did the move go well? I know, same. All my friends just started again too. And by friends, I mean one friend, and then I guess other people that have school. Um... I didn't drop out of college. I didn't even think to go to college because, like, why waste my money? I mean, other people can, but if I went to college, I would, like, I would flop. I would, like, literally, it would be a waste of my money. Other people's money aren't a waste, but... Okay, well, I guess we're going in with no perks. How's South Simulator? It's kicking. I keep getting killed. They keep calling me some words and they keep killing me. I mean, I went to trade school, so like, that's fine. I went for 6 months, and that's fine. I feel like that should be more accessible to people. Like, if you want to go to trade school, go to trade school. Oh, that's fun, Lib. My ears keep popping.
And Mr. Austin did not halt production nor notify City Health.
I mean, T.
What the hell's going on? It won't budge. A knife. Wait. No, it's not.
Tickle, tickle!
Wait. Maybe through here?
Yeah, I've seen so many redacted rumors that we're gonna go back into a lockdown. I'm like, we can't, guys. We can't do this again. I really can't. Can COVID just, like, go fuck herself? Like, why is she always in our business? You're making money in your chair as you speak? And you didn't want to give me any? Fuck that. As a gorgeous, beautiful woman, I should be making stacks just by placing myself right here. What? Girl, are you okay, mama? I mean, we did though. We did go into lockdown for like 9 months and it still is happening, you know what I mean? Like, it sucks. Wait, everybody just escaped? Hello? Fuck. Oh no, I'm not gonna make it out. Did they lock it?
Think. How can I open this?
Oh my god. I'm so fucked. Yeah, that's a nice dream. I wish. Wait, really, Lib? That's scary. God, we can't. Can I just, like, get into my next apartment before this all happens? Please?
Is anything I can use?
Wait, I'm so lost right now. What? Good night, thanks for hanging. Where is this? Am I crazy? I'm literally going crazy down here. Oh.
Here we go.
Wait, so what exit did they go out of? Haha, got Grandpa.
I need help.
Oh, sugar.
Dang it.
Does that hurt? I can handle my. Oh, you poor little.
I can't believe there's actually another strain of COVID. Like, can we stop? Like, why? Why? Make it stop. Are you winning? No. I've died like almost every game because I'm just like, I'm shit in the bed. Oh yeah, I am, baby. Do you have this game yet, Joy? Or are you too busy on Baldur's to be like, because I know my friend was playing Baldur's nonstop, that they weren't really doing anything. I know me and Marisol were gonna play tonight. I don't know if you want to play with us at some point. I was also gonna play Final Fantasy for the first couple hours and that didn't happen, so. Yeah, I mean, period. If it's free, it's free, even though I got it on not Game Pass. Well, I got a key, so it doesn't, I got it on like Keymail or one of those websites. So I guess it didn't really matter. Either way, I was gonna get that bitch for free. Wait, unready. I don't want to play her. Hold on. I'm twerking on the runway. Also, I'm so excited to see you in the show, Joy. Congrats. I'm twerking on the runway. I haven't bought my ticket, my plane ticket yet. I bought everything else, bought my plane ticket. Enjoy your homework. Thanks for hanging and stopping in. I miss you so much. Hopefully we can like, maybe we should get like lunch or something sometime. Love you so much. I'm like trying to see if like they'll go down in price, but they're probably only gonna go up in price because I'm delusional. Oh, that's fun. I'm waiting for insurance to reimburse us, which they take forever to do. From all the stuff I had to spend to get everybody back on their feet.
A woman has been arrested for the attempted murder of local car magnate, Forrest, with the intention of stealing their fortune. Brianna Rose, 43, was hired as a live-in cook months ago. Patriarch Kid Borden was hospitalized early.
Okay, after this, I think I'm gonna switch to Final Fantasy, and we'll play it for a little bit, because I think we'll play it for long enough that it'll be fine. Like, I don't think we're gonna, I think the controller will have enough juice. I think. Hopefully. The character I'm playing right now, Joy? You don't think he's a little fruity in the booty? Oh, you did, okay. I thought you meant hit, like he's gonna hit you. I was like, oh, not too much.
This looks promising.
Why do I already hear him? Oh, hi. Hey. Did he not see me, like, actually? What? Huh?
I think I can make it.
Like, actually, I was, like, gagged. Oh, give me this. I'm literally making noise and he can't hear me. Hello? Where'd he go? Well. Maybe. Okay, we leave here.
What do we have here?
Is he on you, sister? Where is he? Oh, so now he sees me. What the heck? Why all of a sudden? Girl, please. He broke it. Dang. I'm twerking on the runway. Isn't there healing in here? There is.
I hope this works. Please.
Where is the open door? Anybody want to answer me that?
Can I use this?
Who is dying?
Damn it.
Bitch, shut up. Well, someone like actually just died, so like what's the tea? What is the button? Every single game, it's another button. So annoying. My God. Okay, well, clearly it's not working, so... Like, I feel like every game I can get up behind someone and do the ability, but then it's like, no, you can't. And then it's, I just die. Because it puts me into that grapple state. It's so stupid. Alright, let's play Final Fantasy for the final, like, finally I get to play this game after waiting weeks for it to come and ordering a controller charger. Like, just let me in, please.